We are stepping aside right now from the Michael Kay Show for a special press conference here on Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Sheeran. As promised, we are bringing you the official introduction of Premier League superstar Frank Lampard officially joining New York City FC. And we want to get you right out to the Grand Hyatt in New York City, where our Joe Tollison is standing by. Joe, take it away.
Thank you very much, Chris, and good afternoon to everybody joining us now on Yes Network. I'm Joe Tollison. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the newest member of New York City Football Club. He was the second designated player signed by the team back in January. Of course, it is Frank Lampard, and sitting to his right is the head coach of New York City Football Club, Jason Kreis. Frank Lampard, one of the most illustrious and respected midfielders in the history of the Barclays Premier League, playing in nearly 800 matches in all competitions and scoring over 250 goals. He joins New York City Football Club from Manchester City, and he is available to make his New York City debut this weekend, Sunday afternoon at Yankee Stadium against Toronto FC. And Frank, will start things off. Just your thoughts on becoming a member here of New York City Football Club and continuing your career in the United States.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. The MLS is a fantastic league which I've seen grow over the recent years, and the whole, having spoke to everybody at the football club, it was a very easy choice for me, a great challenge for me to come and play my football here, to live in this great city, to be part of a new project, starting the club, starting the fan base. I think the club's done brilliantly in the last 6 months, first half of the season, and I hope to help us improve on that.
Jason, we heard earlier from Andoni Iraola and Angelino. Frank Lampard is here now to join David Villa. You as the head coach on fitting all these pieces into the puzzle.
It's an exciting and challenging time, I think, to be the head coach of this club. The team is headed, I think, in a really positive direction, with 4 wins in our last 5 matches and 5 out of our last 6 unbeaten. So the team is heading in a positive direction. I think the mood around the team is very good. And it's exciting because now we're adding some really, really talented top-level players to the group. So we know that we're in a good place at the moment, but we look to improve. And we'll look to continue to improve as the season goes along, and to be at our best, hopefully, for the end of the season and into a playoff run.
Okay, we'll turn things now over to New York City FC press officer Sam Cook. Again, raise your hands and wait for the microphone.
Okay, can we have a show of hands, please? Okay, just a...
Jason, you mentioned way back when all these things were being rumored, all sorts of different players, that it was difficult mid-season to integrate new guys in the group. You mentioned it. These guys are world-class, a lot of them. How do you go about doing that in a practical sense? How do you actually get the team together and move it forward? And also, where do you see Frank best fitting? I know you've kind of mentioned some things in the past, but do you have something a little bit more concrete to offer us?
I think if you know me well enough, you know that I'm not going to offer you a whole lot concrete as far as where Frank will play exactly, except to say that he's a central midfield player. We'll look to integrate him in that role. And yes, I've said before that it's difficult to add players in the summer, but I didn't say it was impossible. And so I think that we look to get these guys involved as quickly as possible. We work a little bit extra in the training sessions. We spend a little bit of extra time analyzing video. We spend a little bit extra time communicating with these players. And the final piece is to make sure that their soccer fitness is right. And so when you're adding players at this level, I think that the difficulty becomes less and less, but it still exists. And we know that it's a project, and we know that it's going to take some time. I don't think that we're going to be adding all sorts of new players and look out there and think that it's a finished product. But as I said, we look to improve every single week, and we continue to do that from here to the end of the season.
Okay, just a...
Going off that, the team is on a roll right now, and are you worried that the new additions will possibly mess with the chemistry and mess with the team that has been winning a lot of games in the past few weeks?
I'm not. I'm not concerned because we have the right amount of character in the group. We have a team that I feel is very hungry. We have a team that is very humble, and we have a team that is very realistic and knows that, yes, we've got some good results over the past several weeks, but we're not a finished product, and we're not where we want to be ultimately. This is a big club, an important club, and we want to be one of the best teams in the league. So at the moment, yes, we're on a little bit of a good run, but we need to keep our feet on the ground and know that we have to continue to improve. And in order to improve, we need to add some top-level players. So I believe that everybody understands and buys in with where we're at, and I'm not concerned at all.
Tom?
You've had a chance to practice with the guys a little bit before the Montreal trip. Can you just talk about what it's been like that first week and the atmosphere on the practice field?
Yeah, it's been great for me. I mean, I had a couple of weeks break, which was good for my freshness. But I was really excited to get back on the training field with the players. I was fortunate because I've met most of the squad, pretty much all of them before. I've met Jason and obviously had lots of conversations. So it didn't feel like a complete new day at the office. It was very comfortable for me straight away. So. Enjoyed training. The quality of training was high, as I expected it to be. I've seen the boys train pre-season in Manchester. I knew that Jason's sessions are very sharp, and it was very easy for me to fit in, really. It was a joy to train this week, get to know the lads a bit more, and I hope and I'll do everything from my end to integrate as quickly as I can by making friends, making relationships on and off the pitch, in the dressing room, on the pitch, and I hope to try and help the team.
Dan Bowens with Fox 5 here in New York. Have you, now that you're here to stay, have you had a New York moment yet, riding the subways, cursing at a taxi driver, or anything? And what are your first impressions of the city, living in the city?
I've had a few, yeah. I haven't done the subway yet, but I will. I mean, it's too big a city to take it all in 1 week, especially when you're training and trying to rest in the afternoons. But I did drive the car the other day, which was interesting. I took it slow, so it was fine. But no, it's a crazy city. I mean, I'm delighted to be here. I'm a city boy. I've lived in London for many years, and I love the buzz of a city. I love the sounds, as we can hear now as I'm talking. So that's made me very comfortable straight away. I will explore it as time comes. I've been very pleased to have such a great reception here. I mean, people talk about soccer here and talk about how it's easy to walk down the street and not get recognised compared to England. There is an element of that, but I can certainly see the game's really growing, because as I walk down the street now, lots of people are interested in the game as a whole and of NYCFC. So for me, that's been a pleasure. I'm blessed to live in a great city like this and play my football here.
Okay. Steve, front.
Frank, I know you touched yesterday about the regret of how everything panned out initially, but in a way, has that sort of made you even more determined to really make your mark here and have a great go at it?
I've always been a very determined character, and I think football, for my career's always thrown up moments. I think any player who has a longer career as I've had will have moments of decisions, moments, and I've kind of learned that the only way to answer any question is on the pitch. So for me, it's I'm not interested in looking backwards at all. I'm very, very excited in the moment to be here, and I'll try and make all my answers on the pitch in the coming months and this season and next season.
Okay, just here.
Frank, how would you gauge your level of fitness right now? And second, who are you most looking forward to playing with on this team besides David Villa and the Italian gentleman that we've been talking about this week? Who else are you most looking forward to playing with?
Well, first of all, I think my fitness is good. Hopefully, I mean, I've heard it's almost a mini pre-season for me. So I hope to get it to as optimum as I can, as quickly as I can. I'm training and doing the best. I'm working with a great team with Jason and the medical staff at the club. I couldn't ask for any more. So I hope to get to peak fitness as quickly as possible. In terms of the team, I hate talking about individuals. I mean, unfortunately, it probably comes with the territory here, but the minute there are 3 DPs, people want to talk about the DPs and ask about David, ask about Andrea. I mean, that's obviously an easy question and it's an easy answer because they're world class, but I'm always very interested in talking about the squad and the players, and I've been watching all the games. I know every player, how they play, I know how the team has been playing, so I wouldn't want to pick out single names, but what I will say is that I know everyone very well, and the pleasure will be to play with the squad as a whole, to train with them every day and play.
Okay, just in.
Speaking of Andrea and Villa, you played against them a lot in Champions League and the World Cup. Did you ever think, boy, if I could play with them one day, that would be amazing? And how excited is this? This basically is a super team.
I did think that. I think, I'm fortunate enough to play against many great players, and I have to say David and Andrea are right at the top of that list. I played against David when he was very young, playing at Valencia. I remember him very well, the quality of him straight away. Andrea Pirlo is a joy to watch as a footballer anyway, and there was a one time at Chelsea where there were rumours that he was going to come and play when Ancelotti was there, and we wanted to sign him, but it never happened. But both of them are players that I've admired from afar and an absolute joy to play with. I didn't realise it would happen at this stage in my career. I'm a lucky man to be in the same squad, same team as them.
Okay, just here.
Frank, what's the biggest challenge for you?
Well, it's a difficult question, I suppose. I think the challenge is to come here and do the best I can, simple answer, and win. I think it's a perfect challenge for me at this part of my career. That's why the decision to come here was an easy one, relatively, because the MLS, the way it is, the club itself, as I said earlier, how it was sold to me, my challenge is to try and win. I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think I had a lot left in me in terms of fitness, in terms of freshness. I've always had a huge desire to win throughout my career, and I've been fortunate to do that, but my challenge is to show people that I'm here to win and play well as regularly as I can.
Okay, just here.
Frank, how much of the team have you watched while you've been away from the club, and what do you think you can bring to the team in terms of your skill level?
I've watched a great deal, actually. I've watched, I would say, probably 75% of the games. Fortunately, we get them broadcast over in England regularly now, and with the modern internet, you can watch most games. So I've obviously wanted to see that. I'm a big football man anyway. It is my life. I enjoy watching football, but obviously with this being my new club, I had a huge interest in it. In terms of what I can give the club and the team, I'll try and do what I've always done. And as Jason said earlier, I'm a centre midfield player. I don't see myself completely boxed off as an attacking midfield player. I like to contribute to the team with and without the ball. So I'll try and do that. And then obviously I'll try and create and score goals. I think that's probably been, probably the defining part of my career is scoring regularly from midfield. So if I can do that for the team as well as working for everyone else, then I'll try and do that.
Okay, just there.
Right, Barney Henderson from The Telegraph. How many conversations did you have with David Beckham before deciding to move over here? And would you ever follow him in answering your country's call if there was a run of injuries in central midfield?
I had a few conversations with David. To be honest, they were quite a while ago. He was always very positive about the league. I know how he felt it. I think it was very easy to see from the outside how David took to the MLS and took to his club. He was a great example for any player coming to play in this league. I think he set the tone. But yeah, he was very positive. But we haven't had huge conversations. My own man and he's his own man, and we speak occasionally. But I know he would be positive about the idea of playing here. In terms of England, though, I've finished my England career, and that would be it. Call or no call, I wouldn't be playing.
Okay. Yeah, just here.
Hi, Frank. Given how the end of the season went with Manchester City and how little playing time you had, do you regret spending that second half of the season here instead of starting with New York City FC?
Well, I actually had a fair bit of playing time. I think I played the last 8 games, 4 games. So yeah, I mean, I said in some statements yesterday that I was a bit frustrated, probably mainly through January, February, March. It's difficult to have regrets. It's hard to have regrets and to look back and with a negative feeling. I think, as I said earlier, my aim is to look forward from now. So I don't know about regrets. All I am is very excited to be here now and to try and play my best football. I think we're in a decent position in the league here now where we're just short of the playoffs. So if we can put a good run together, and I hope to be part of that, then I won't have any regrets at the end of the season when we hopefully have a successful year.
Okay, just there.
It's the end of the game, and Pirlo, Lampard, and Villa are all on the field at the same time. Who's taking that free kick?
I don't know. I think I spoke to Andrea about his free kicks the other day, and he's got a sort of a one-off technique. Hardly any players can. Well, I think he's the best at getting the ball to dip and dive in all different areas. So he can have the first one.
Okay.
Let's see.
Jason, do you have your mind set already on terms of minutes of game of play for Frank this weekend? And for Frank, after you stayed on Manchester, it was quite a controversy right here. Do you think that you have any kind of debt with the fans because of that?
The answer is yes. I have a mindset and a plan, but plans and mindset typically change. So I'm open to seeing what's what during the match, and as we lead up to the match as well. So decisions will be made as they're needed to be made, and I don't need to make them yet, but I have a plan.
Yeah, and my answer to that is that I think the only debt I have here is to come and play good football now. I think, as I said before, I think the way I've been taken at this club in the city so far with the lots of people I've met on the streets, the involvement I've had with the club has all been very positive. If there is a debt, if anyone feels there's a debt, then as I said earlier, I'll try and answer everything on the pitch. It's what I've done all my career. I'm a pretty straight person, I think. I work very hard. I'll try and do my best. And if that can bring success, if I can help the team win, then I think none of us will have debts to pay. We'll all be happy.
Okay. Steve.
I was going to say, with all those years you played with Steven Gerrard as well for England against him in the Premier League, did you ever think that you two would end up in this sort of juncture in your careers? It's quite funny.
No, I mean, who knows how football goes, but no, not particularly. I didn't imagine it this way, but I'm very pleased for Steven that he's come to play in Los Angeles. I think it's a fantastic move for him. I'm not sure what more he could have done at Liverpool, personally, to build his status even more. I think he did it all. And it's great. I enjoy challenges. I know Steven does. We're both very determined people and players. So it's another challenge. A very good player signing for them. We're already a very strong team, but we're focusing on our strong team here. And man, I've got a lot of belief in us, so we'll see.
Okay,
for Jason, you've been with this league since basically day one. Feels like almost not a new dawn, a new day, but things have changed. Can you kind of stand back and look at this and evaluate where this league stands now to maybe where it was when you first got involved?
Oh, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and would take me hours and hours to kind of go through all the details of what it used to be to where it is now. And I was telling Frank earlier in the back room that this is just an incredibly exciting time to be a part of this league, and incredibly exciting for a guy that has started his career in this league and ended his career in this league, and probably started his coaching career and probably will end his coaching career in this league. So really, really happy to have this opportunity and to be involved. To have the opportunity to work with guys like Frank and Andrea and David is second to none and truly special. So I'll try to enjoy and soak it all up every single minute that I get.
Okay, just at the back there.
This is for Frank. How do you plan to deal with the pressure to produce with so many big names now on the team?
Well, I think I'm pretty used to dealing with big names around me. I mean, it's comes with the territory if you're playing for top clubs. At Chelsea, big names everywhere I looked. At Manchester City, the same last year.